February 21st, 2012. Yesterday I talked about the carrot and stick philosophy, where I guess it amounts to positive and negative reinforcement. Um, and it can be highly effective. Both of them can be effective, but not necessarily productive. Life ultimately, at its root, affirms itself. So, yes, even though we destroy, uh, there is rebuilding that occurs. It rebuilds itself, it affirms itself. I think humanity is the one that can come to terms with the fact that tragedies, however, can be averted, and yet not every tragedy can be stopped. Yet there are those created by human hands and those created by nature. And if humanity is removed from nature, um, they may have a difficult time with tragedy of their own creation. This carrot and stick idea I came across reading a book of, it was a collection of essays for the California prison system, put forth by people who were involved in the California prison system in the late 70s. There were a lot of new ideas coming in then. And a lot of the old guard and the old way of doing things was being set aside for new ways of doing things. However, if it ain't broke, it doesn't get fixed. So the same old ways kept on persisting. You know, life finds a way. And so we can create something, and even though it's not necessarily productive, it is effective for a certain perspective, from a certain perspective. And so, anyway, I woke up thinking this morning that this guy, this one of these elders involved in the judicial system and has a lot of experience with legalities, courts, and whatnot. And being that he had quite a few employees under him, he had quite an in-depth experience in the workers' compensation system. And my father let me borrow a car a couple months ago, last month. And it's got insurance through the July. So, because I told him, you know, I'm not going to live beyond my means. It's just ridiculous to live beyond my means. I'm sick and tired of living by the stick. I'm going to live by the carrot. If it produces, if it is productive, yes, it can be effective, but that's not impressive to me anymore. I have been affected in many ways in my life, and not always in a productive manner. So I have very little tolerance for the destructive, and I respect how we must be destroyed in order to rebuild ourselves. I get that. So I'm going to try to fill out this paperwork again and go to the workers' comp appeals board again. And I'm hoping that this time I can effect a change in my case. I don't know if I necessarily need this guy's help, but something inside of me tells me to ask would be a good thing. Get his input. Perhaps he can give me some techniques and some skills to have an effective result, that it produces the results I want anyway. But I have very, very little tolerance for any system that profits at another person's expense. I think this comes from my youth. I had children young and was highly invested in trying to make ends meet, and even more, And I found that I injured myself repeatedly at work, working for others that were profiting at my expense, and I had nothing to show for it. I've made some bad decisions. And I understand an employer wants an employee that makes good decisions. However, each time I hurt my back, well, there was one time I injured my back at work twice. 2 different jobs, 10 years apart. And then there was, in between, there was a rear end accident. So that wasn't at work. But I was working at the time, completely honest with everybody involved, and the insurance company covered my surgery that was required, and they were paid back out of a settlement. Completely above board. But I realized that my attorney got 75%. And I found out the way he got 75%, and God bless the man, he's a decent dad, trying to make his way in this world and support his family, and people are genuinely nice. I've met a lot of nice people, However, he did a bunch of paperwork and had a lot of bills and all these things that he itemized and got paid for. And he was paying his daughter a very good wage, to do this work. And rightly so. Wouldn't we want our children to know the worth of their work? But at the jobs that I worked at, I had nothing to show for it except permanent disability. And employers screwed me over. So it left me jaded, left me hurt. I don't like saying it, but, that was my experience. My experience was, and often repeats itself, repeats showing itself the same character, that people profit exorbitantly at another person's expense, rather than take accountability and responsibility. And this has been driven home to me in the workers' comp system with the insurance company's attorneys. And I came to understand a perspective of capitalism that was really difficult for me to swallow. Wasn't raised that way, wasn't raised to believe that that's what really happens. Though I had had experiences that showed me that, I was told it was otherwise. When, in fact, it's not a pretty picture out there. So I understand governmental regulation. I understand that humanity left to their own devices will be selfish and lazy. They will profit exorbitantly at another person's expense. And I'm trying in my own little way to keep it balanced within my life, to live frugally and conservatively, so that I can come to terms with my own need to benefit in life and how I benefit. And I also respect that there's a lot of people out there that never are faced with these realities, these facts of life. And that for them, it may be destabilizing and even wrong for them to hear what I have to say here. I understand that a lot of people, they want to think that they're doing the greatest and the best works. And this keeps them going in a positive, productive way. And I'm glad for that. I want to see that. I think everybody wants to see success and productivity. However, I've been faced with situations, life experiences that show a totally different side of life. And it's my responsibility to make sense of it and to bring an affirmative stance and posture to it without being consumed by it. This is really difficult for me. I don't like going before my peers, the judges and the attorneys, the judges of the workers' comp system and the attorneys for the insurance system, and have them fail me. And I know they are there to serve me. I know they've taken an oath to serve me, and I know I'm not asking for more than what is legally mine to ask for. Yet the insurance company attorney is paid to profit the insurance company. And there are very specific techniques that are used to prolong, and just wear me down. And being that I don't have the resources or the physical ability to drive down there and repeatedly and continually harass everybody about what I want, I think it's ridiculous. Someone ought to be able to see. I figure, you're getting paid a wage, a decent wage, you should be able to see. Yet they have rights. The insurance company has rights. They've been given rights. It frightens the hell out of me. I've seen them lie.